Good morning. Here's the disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing in this video is financial advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial product. All content is for informational purposes only, based on personal opinions and experiences. Trading futures, options, and other financial instruments involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for every investor. You can lose more than your initial investment, so always do your own research and consult with a licensed financial professional. Alright, so here's the news today. Basically, for me, it's just jolts. Jolts in these factory orders at 10 a.m., and then everything else is after I'm done trading, but it's just a couple Fed speakers and the API stuff today after the close. So that's the news, so we can get right into the pre-market sheet. Still no one time framing at all. On the monthly, the weekly, or the daily, there's no one time framing right now. We have initiated one time framing on the daily though, so if we manage to break yesterday's full session high, 63.88, breaking that will initiate one time framing higher on the daily. It will start it. And so current market condition is balanced. We're right inside the value area of yesterday. Yeah, we have the gap up from yesterday that's still open. This is a pretty big gap now, 62.19 to 60.97. So pointing a bit. Last major swing is down here. This is a good major swing, like I said. This is a good low, so that's nice to have. Prior session, I said the excesses are all right. Like this high is not that great from the volume profile. You can see, like there was still a lot of trade that happened here. It wasn't exactly an excess on the volume profile. The low is good though. The low is good. Both against. So yeah, that's pretty much good. No real bias in terms of direction for the day, for me at least. And yeah, we had a normal variation day yesterday. So for key levels, above us, I marked down overnight high. We've got some singles in here on the TPO, which I'll show after. We've got yesterday's high, and then we've got these naked prior week highs and naked settles up here. And then below us, we've got settle. We've got the blue mag zone and MCV puck down here. We've got yesterday's low just above that, and then we've got the naked stuff below that, and everything basically below yesterday's low is the gap, all the way up until prior high down here. So yeah. Yeah, so there's the pre-market sheet. We can go into the TPO quickly. Mother. Alright, got that sorted. So yeah, if we take a look at the TPO, you can see basically my key areas for today is going to be like this mag zone, this, the value area of yesterday here. We've got the singles up here. Potentially the value area high could be important, at least as a clue. And then obviously yesterday's high. So that's basically the day's range right there. Yeah, and so basically, I forgot settle. And settle as well. Basically, like potentially, it's a bit ambiguous, I think, for me at least, today. But potentially this RTH VPOC and potentially this settle as well, or potentially just in between the two, could sort of act as a line in the sand area. It just depends how it plays out, I think. Like, I think if we get a good push away from the VPOC and then a pullback, then this would, it would end up respecting that. Like, it could just do either one kind of thing, right? Um, but really, for the broader idea, if you're holding above settle, you still look all right to continue long. Um, Settle, yeah, is a bit low. Like, as soon as you break settle, then you're right into yesterday's low. And so then you likely are going to be feeling the effects of the magnet zone pulling you in once you get below settle. So, yeah, so it's a pretty good line in the sand. But yeah, so if you're staying above settle, then I'd like to see, yeah, this push through um, RTH VPOC and ideally as well the value area high of yesterday. So if you can push through this and hold it, then this now becomes good, closing up the singles, and we're holding above for the recheck of yesterday's high, which is also the 63.90 swing high. So it's a very important high to break, and so if we can, then we can get the continuation to move higher. If this high breaks, I'm basically just zone to zone. I said it yesterday as well, but everything above this 63.90 is gap. So it's all gap from when Trump announced the tariffs. So all of this, I will just be zone to zone for now until we start, filling it in a bit more. Anything basically above yesterday's high. So yeah, that's basically the main bullish scenario. If you see the bearish scenario is pretty similar. It's just similar to yesterday. It's like, well, you got the push down to settle. If you can get to settle, then that's already like that would be nice with this push through the VPOC, because this RTH VPOC is also, it was at least, I don't know if it still is, it was overnight VPOC. But we've got a nice overnight distribution right on top of this. So it looks good as, a good clear value metric, right? So if you can push through the VPOC and stay below it, then that's, a good early clue that you could get this test of settle. And if you break below settle, that's where I guess the important thing actually happens. Then, like I said, you're going to start feeling the effects of this magnet zone, and it's going to start, wanting to pull you into it, right? So then basically, like yesterday, we have the two same scenarios basically, which is one, we come down to this mag zone and we balance out and we sort of go sideways, or two, we go through the mag zone and we start cleaning up more of this gap. We still got this whole gap to clean up with a double TPO high at the gap closure. So that's something we'll have to do at some point. But very similar scenarios to yesterday, because we're basically opening in the same spot. We just have, basically this added information of the value up here. But yeah, so that's basically the scenarios. And if, like I said, overnight VPOC or RTH VPOC could be a line in the sand, but it also could, if we're just balancing, if we're not respecting it and we're just trading through it, then that's a sign that, yeah, we're still just balancing and we haven't broken out yet. But if it holds on a push, to go test an extreme, I would be willing to take that trade. So, as a scalp. So yeah, that's basically the scenarios again. Like it hasn't changed much from yesterday. So really, we're looking at all the same things. And yeah, we've got some things to clean up now. We've cleaned up a good bit. We cleaned up a good bit of stuff yesterday. I didn't have any trades yesterday. Yesterday was a bit tricky for pullbacks because the main directional move didn't have any pullbacks, and then we sort of just went sideways. But yeah, you can see from this volume distribution that overnight volume or overnight value is basically right on top of yesterday's value, and it's pretty solid too. It looks like it's even a bit more than in the RTH. But yeah, pretty aggressive move here up to overnight high. We're pushing the highs here. So we'll. I mean, I basically just drew it, so I don't really have to do it again. But I'm gonna quickly set up all the zones, and then I'll just come in and quickly draw it, and then we'll be done basically. All right, so here's chart with the areas, the levels on it. So it's kind of a lot, but not all of it is necessarily a lean. So, yeah, like I said, I basically just went through these, but I'll go through them one more time quickly. So we are pushing the highs here, which is significant. But like I said, if you get this push, basically exactly this push through the VPOX, you know, it came all the way down and went from settle all the way up, pushed through the VPOX. We're now pushed through the value area high. If you can continue and then come back and hold one of them, just hold something, you know, basically, then it becomes good for continuation higher. To close up the singles, which are all up here, like I said, and then to go recheck yesterday's high. Yesterday's high becomes the main test. Yesterday's high / swing high becomes the main test on the high side for me on the day, because like I said, everything above there is gap, and this swing high hasn't been touched since we made it. So yeah, that becomes the main test. If we can get it, like I said, anything above is just zone to zone. Basically, from here and on, is just zone to zone for continuation higher to close the gap, basically. So obviously, this will be a key potential resistance area. Held it yesterday. We missed it by 2 ticks yesterday. That's yesterday's high. And then really you're already above everything that could pose as resistance. You know, you had the value area, you had settle. The single's not really. So that'd really be the main one. Potentially overnight high, but we're right at it, so I'm not going to draw it. But then for the bearish scenario, basically the same like I said. Now you have to come through the VPOX. So if you get a nice push through the VPOX on the low side, then that becomes, you know, a good early indication that you're going for settle. It's not super early because of where we are now in relation to, but anyway, yeah, if you get this nice push through settle, comes down, breaks it, you're right there now at yesterday's low. If you break settle, and then you're, like I said, gonna feel the pull of this magnet zone. So pulled in by the magnet zone, then one of two things could happen. We could continue lower to finish closing up the rest of the gap, and potentially even go for the double TPO and that full gap closure we have all the way down there. Or you balance out in the mag zone, potentially, you know, in between the mag and settle, potentially, you know, a wide range. But there's potential balance here. Potential balance and potential support just ahead of that, right in here, as well as here. Settling yesterday's low, basically, could potentially are the main potential supports for the day. So, yeah, that's basically the scenarios. I feel like it looks basically identical to yesterday. We're already pushing the highs, though, so this move could start early, and there's a lot of volume behind this. So we'll see what happens into the open. But, yeah, let's see. So I'll see what I can do today, and I'll come back end of day if I have any trades. So be back then.